and we talked about this a little bit, welcoming and beautiful, and I asked you about balancing beauty and function, but let's talk about color and lighting and texture. And are there any design don'ts that people are not aware of?
Absolutely.
That's a lot of questions in one, but just talk about all of that.
Okay. Let's
Take your
start with
time.
the do's, the don'ts.
What should you not do?
Your window treatments should not look like Steve Urkel on pants. There's a way to make your curtains look elegant and flowing, but for them to stop midway the window is a no-no.
Oh, really?
Because it chops off your window.
Yeah.
And I've seen people's where I don't know what they were thinking.
Yeah.
But the curtains or window treatments stop midway of the window.
Now,
So-
are you talking about down at the windowsill or up here?
Up, not at the
up,
window.
really?
Yeah,
Midway the window
midway
itself.
the window. Yes. So ideally, you want them to just dust or just kiss the floor a little bit. But stopping way before the windowsill is a no.
Y'all hear that?
No.
I'm glad I don't have that going on today.
At least let them come down to the floor where we would want them, but not in the middle of the windows. Another don't
There is an elegance about that window when the window treatment comes all the way down. Welcome to Get Real with Alexis Jones. On this podcast, we'll dive into real relationships with real people guided by the wisdom and perspective of some of the most seasoned voices in our community, our beloved seniors. Each week, we'll unpack the joys, challenges, and lessons learned about love, family, friendship, and everything in between. This is a space for heartfelt conversations, eye-opening truths, and powerful stories that will inspire and challenge the way you think about relationships. We're keeping it honest, unfiltered, and deeply meaningful. So settle in and let's get ready to get real. Let's jump in. Welcome to another episode of Get Real with Alexis. I am here today with my friend Sonia Foster. We have an interior designer in the house, and I am so excited. So welcome, Sonia.
Thank you. Thank you for having me, Miss Alexis.
I am so glad you're here. I've been waiting for this for a long, long time.
We're here.
Yes, we made it. We made it. Let me tell you something about this young lady. I mean, I could go on and on about her, but I won't today. But I want to talk about inner and outer beauty because we have an interior designer in the house. Sonia owns a company. She's the owner and principal designer at Beyond Elegance Design. That's the name of her company. She's a compassionate interior designer. She's been doing this in Atlanta for 25 years. She specializes in life transition home design and aging in place solutions. She had the privilege of serving people through community programs and one-on-one care. Sonia always believed that our surroundings impact how we live and how we feel. And that's what we're going to talk about today. That belief led her to interior design, where she now helps clients transform their homes into supportive, joyful spaces. Sonia is a graduate of Georgia State University and the University of Georgia, where she obtained her master's degree in public administration and certification in interior design. I had no idea.
Yes.
Sonia is a proud boy mom of 3 young adult men, a wife, an avid line dancer. Yes, we share that too. We're both boy moms. We're both avid line dancers. No wonder we love each other. And she resides currently in Fayetteville, Georgia. So welcome again, Sonia. Thank you.
Thank you for having me.
All right. I want to get right into it for our listeners. In your bio, you mentioned that you always believe that our surroundings impact how we live and how we feel, and that belief led you to interior design. Can you talk a bit more about your interior design origins?
It started with my mother and I. My mother was very nosy. So when new houses were being built in different neighborhoods, we would get in the car and go and look in the houses and see what they were building and just look, at all the finishes and things like that.
How old were you at the time?
I had to been 6, 7, 8.
Really?
Yeah, and we would do it all the time. That was like one of our things, just going around to different neighborhoods, going into houses. This is when the houses were still unlocked. Now the doors weren't
Yes,
locked.
I
You just walk in and it was no worries. But now you can't hardly do that.
Right.
But that's how it started. And I would imagine which room would be mine, just come up with all these stories of what the people were going to do in the house. And it was just one of those things that we did together.
Can you tell us about your room, and was it a reflection of your personality, or how did that come about?
I think, okay, I remember 2 rooms. My first room that I remember, my niece and I shared a room. My niece, we're like 3 years apart. She's more like my sister than she is my niece. And it was kind of weird for her to call me her aunt because I'm younger than she is. But nevertheless, we shared a room. And we will always build these elaborate forts. In our room, we had twin beds in there, and we would build forts, and we would have parties. And our party would be popcorn, potato chips, and whatever other junk we could find, and we put it in a bowl, and that would be our party in a bowl. And we would dance around and eat the popcorn and eat the chips and, just have a good time. I think that's where that room, I can remember us dancing around in that room. And I believe that's where that and my mother, because my mom liked to dance too. That's where my love for dancing and entertaining came from. So once she moved out and went to live with her mom, I believe she was in middle school, it just left me. And I would still have my little parties in a bowl, but it just wasn't the same. We eventually moved. That house was in Hateville, Georgia. We moved to Decatur, Georgia, and I had my own room, and it was a vibrant Pepto-Bismol pink.
Really?
And yes. The walls were this lovely Pepto-Bismol pink. I had a floor-length mirror, and I can remember stuffed animals being, on the bed and on the dresser, and this mauve-colored frames were on the wall that had little sayings in them. And that particular room, I would change it a lot. I would, move the teddy bears around. I would find myself trying to decorate, with whatever I had. That's kind of the origins of it, as well as, us driving around looking in the houses.
Right.
But in addition to that, I have a family member, my oldest brother is in construction. So just, having the smells of cut wood, the hum of machinery, and then him telling us stories about, what was going on the job site and the challenges he was facing and how he would solve problems. I like that. Yeah. And so I decided when I got out of high school and went to Georgia State, graduated, I was going to become a residential superintendent. So I went to the Atlanta Builders Association and became a certified residential superintendent. So,
my goodness.
Yeah. As life would have it, I went down a different path, but as life often does, it brought me back to construction. Yeah. Now I'm in interior design.
My goodness. There's so many layers to you. We won't even get to all of them today. How do you define beauty, both in a space and in a person?
I define beauty as anything, an action or a person that makes your heart genuinely smile. It could be someone did something unexpected nice for you, and that could make your heart smile. To me, that's beauty. The smell of rain, being outside and feeling the rain on you, just being out there. To me, that's beauty. In our spaces, I go back to the same thing. Whatever makes your heart smile. To me, that's beauty, and that's beautiful. Because
now, what if you were talking? Because I've heard you say that, and I love that because the audience can't see this room; they only see where we're sitting. But you all should know that this room was transformed, and it just took a phrase from Sonia. She was over here a few months ago, and she came in, and I was trying to put a plant here and a chair here because I was going to be doing these podcasts. And I said, well, what do I need? Can you tell me what I need? Because I knew I needed something. And she said, where's the color? She said, aren't you a Delta? Where's the color? And I mean, that really stuck with me. And I started looking around and said, I got to add some color to this room.
Wow, you did good.
I know they can't see this beautiful, colorful rug on the floor because if I show you guys, I might not point the camera back correctly. So I'm sorry, you won't get to see it. But I transformed this room based on that little phrase, girl, where's the color? I started looking for color. And so I was so excited to show her today.
You did good. I must say, I am impressed. My heart is smiling. Because there is a beautiful color in here. I wish y'all could see it, but just imagine her banner and this color on the rug and her, as you can see down here, the little stand has color in it and it matches the chair. Yeah. It's beautiful. You did good.
Well, and I mentioned it because you said the space should make you smile. I never hung out in this room. This room was functional only. I came in if I needed to do something while I was sitting at that desk, or this is a sofa bed, if I needed to roll it out so someone can sleep in it. It was fun. I didn't just hang out in here. Once I added the color, I just wanted to sit here and I'd read or I'd watch a movie or and I have lots of other spaces, larger spaces in this, but this one makes me smile.
And that's what we want.
Yeah.
I believe that your space should elicit a smile. Mm-hmm. How do you want to feel when you're in that space? We oftentimes become more productive. Our sense of self increases. We become calmer. It's just, it just makes us feel better and makes us feel good.
It does. I never realized, you know what it feels like now that I'm hearing you talk more about the description. It's like putting on an outfit that you like. It may not be an expensive one or this, nobody else may not like it, but when you put on this particular outfit, you feel good in it. Yeah. You like the way you look in it. You like the way you feel in it. And it permeates into how you feel about yourself that day. I feel good. You stand a little taller and a little straighter because you like how you feel in what you have on.
That is so true. I believe your space should do the same thing. It can still be functional.
Yeah.
And if you were to ask me which one, beauty over function,
we're going to ask that.
I believe we can
about it.
We can have both. Sometimes function, depending on what it is, may need to be a little bit higher on the list than beauty. But I believe you can obtain some type of balance between the two. It just depends on what you're doing. But for, like you said, for this space right here, it can be functional. You got your sleeper sofa.
It's an extra bedroom.
Yep. You got your sleeper sofa, but it can also be aesthetically pleasing and make you smile. So you can have both. You can have a balance between both. But then, like I said, there are times when one may outweigh the other. For an example, those beautiful shoes, that 4-inch stiletto heels that are just gorgeous, that you just got to have. But you just look at them and tell they're going to hurt your feet.
Oh, yeah.
But you get them anyway because they are beautiful. They are nice and you want them. But functionally, you're going to walk to your car with the shoes in your hand. When you get to the function of the event, you're going to put the shoes on, walk to the table, and sit down the whole entire time and not move.
Exactly.
And then when it's time to go, you're going to take the shoes off and hobble back to your car barefoot. That's one time where beauty or aesthetics outweigh function.
Right.
So it just depends. But I do believe that we can have both at the same time. But sometimes beauty and aesthetics outweigh.
So when we think about that same concept and we think about a person, a woman, a man, what makes him or her beautiful?
Ooh, good question. I think what makes a person beautiful is their spirit, their inner being, their who they are at the core. When it's all said and done, when they're not, when you're not around, who are they intrinsically at their core? And it's just their spirit, their vibe.
Yeah, absolutely.
How do they maneuver and move in the world as a person?
Yeah.
To me, that's character and integrity. Those types of things makes a person beautiful.
Yes.
And it can, it comes out into the world. And
I agree. I did a podcast not long ago. I don't know if it was the last one I did, maybe the one before that, about forgiveness. And I thought about that as you were talking, because for me, beauty is kind of keeping those channels clear, keeping the trash out, emptying the trash, because trash isn't beautiful. But I can be filled with trash if I'm filled with unforgiveness or bitterness or constant angry. We're going to get angry. So I'm not saying that's bad. That's just a human emotion. But when I'm filled with that, and that's just who I am all the time, that's not beauty for me.
Yeah. I can agree with that.
Yeah.
That's a good way to put it. And I believe that sometimes that lack of beauty, or the trash, as you call it, that's within us, can carry over into our spaces.
Yeah.
And you feel a certain way about yourself, or all the negativity that is in you and is in your environment. So to get rid of the negative energy, the trash, as you would call it, we should look at our spaces. And as we evolve and become better people and get rid of the trash, does your environment say that about you?
Yeah.
What does your environment say about you? Is it beautiful, like you are becoming, or is it reflective of the trash that you have in you?
I wonder if that happens organically, or if you just have to be intentional about it.
I think you have to be intentional. Because as we do work on ourselves, as we become cognizant of, I don't like feeling like this, I want to feel better. And you go do the work, you go to counseling, you go to therapy, you talk it out with someone and get a better perspective on how to maneuver in the world, how to get rid of the trash. We often forget about our environment. And so you may go into a person's house who may have been depressed at one time. They really was medically, biologically depressed. And their environment looks like that too. It's dreary. The curtains are pulled. There's not a live plants or anything that's reflective of life. So they go do the work, like I said, get therapy, counseling, but their house or their environment still looks the same. It's not who they have become. So I think we do have to be intentional about taking a view of our spaces, because as we evolve, I believe our spaces should evolve with us.
So I want to ask you a little bit more about the space. What makes a space feel, and we talked about this a little bit, welcoming and beautiful, and I asked you about balancing beauty and function, but let's talk about color and lighting and texture. And are there any design don'ts that people are not aware of?
Absolutely.
That's a lot of questions in one, but just talk about all of that.
Okay. Let's start with the do's, the don'ts.
What should you not do?
Your window treatments should not look like Steve Urkel on pants. There's a way to make your curtains look elegant and flowing, but for them to stop midway the window is a no-no.
Oh, really?
Because it chops off your window. Yeah. And I've seen people's where I don't know what they were thinking.
Yeah.
But the curtains or window treatments stop midway of the window.
Now, are you talking about down at the windowsill or up here?
Up, not at the window.
Really?
Yeah,
midway the window itself.
Midway the window, yes. So ideally, you want them to just dust or just kiss the floor a little bit. But stopping way before the windowsill is a no. No.
Y'all hear that?
No, no, no.
I'm glad I don't have that going on today.
At least let them come down to the floor where we would want them, but not in the middle of the windows. Another don't
There is an elegance about that window when the window treatment comes all the way down. Because I feel that in my bedroom, because that window treatment wasn't in there, it was in another room when I was in another space. But I put it there and it just looks, I like the way it looks.
Yeah.
But it wasn't intentional. Make sure it comes all the way down and kiss the floor. But I did that and I thought, I like that.
See? Yeah. Now imagine if it just stopped in the middle of the window.
Yeah.
It doesn't do the window justice, nor does it do the room any justice. Because the window, if you have a really tall window and you chop it off with your window treatment, you've taken away the beauty of that window and how the statement that window could possibly make in your room. Yes. So don't let your window treatments people stop in the middle of the window.
Okay.
Another don't that I think people often overlook is a plan, a clear plan, a vision for your space. How do you want to feel? I really believe that the way you want to feel when you're in a space should be your driving force. How, if I want to come in here and be relaxed, want to have a meditative kind of a feel, well, that's what we should do. And I don't think that people set out with a plan on how they're going to, how they want to feel when they're in a space. So they're just kind of all over the place.
That's true.
And I think that creates clutter and that makes you not focused and
because you don't know what you want or you need and you don't have a plan. And so I know for me, you just keep buying stuff and seeing if it works and you just end up with a lot of stuff.
And it takes away, it wastes time and wastes money and you don't get the feeling that you're trying to have. So that's the other don't, is not having a clear plan. Another question you asked.
Now, well, let me ask you about that for a second. Don't forget your thought. So if I say to you, I want a space that's relaxing. When I come home, I want to feel relaxed, but I don't know what that means. That's my plan. That's my vision, or that's my desire. I don't know how to translate that space into relaxing.
Okay. So that's where we would look at, okay, so you don't know what it means. So the colors, let's start looking at colors. What colors, when you look at these colors, make you feel relaxed? Because colors do play a big part in how we physiologically feel and how we mentally feel. Color. We would look at texture. If you see metal as, sharp edges, sharp lines, that may not make you feel comfortable or relaxed because metals or industrial looking materials can often come off as sterile or cold. It's not cold in the temperature of the room. It's just the metal, sharp edges, sharp lines. That may not necessarily make you feel relaxed.
Right.
Lighting. Lighting plays a big part in our mood. So, you have different temperatures of light, blue light, warm light, ambient light. So what type of lighting we will look at that gives you that relaxed, calming feel?
So are these the kinds of questions you would ask a client that was saying, I need you to help me design this space, and I'm looking for a relaxed feel when I walk into it? So you would help them to determine how to get there.
Yes. We'll go through a series of questions, pictures. You look at a bunch of pictures, and I want to know not what you like. Tell me what you don't like. And then as we go through this, we'll maneuver our way to your goal, which is relax, comfort, and things like that. Knowing that, like I said, we want to tap into our five senses when we're answering questions like, what does it mean for me to feel relaxed? What does it mean to me to feel vibrant? Let's tap into the five senses. A sense of touch, is it velvet? Does that make you feel relaxed and calm? If you want a bed, how sometimes the bed just looks so inviting. I just want to get in that bed. And it could be because it has a lot of fluffy pillows and you know what that feels like. So when you see it in your mind, you know what that feels like. So we've already tapped into two senses. If the duvet cover or the bed sheet hangs over the bed and it looks plush, although it might be hard for you to explain plush, you can tell me that I like the way it hangs off of the bed. So to me, that is, let's get an oversized bedspread, because she likes that look. She knows that translate into something being plush. So, so now we've tapped into what you see. And all of those things, in addition to smell, will help. Do we need lavender? Do we need other fragrances that help you relax and make you feel calm? So going through a series of questions and pictures and letting you touch things, close your eyes and touch this and tell me how you feel, that will get us to whatever the feeling you truly want to feel. And I like to look at all 5 senses if we can.
Wow, you're pretty thorough.
Oh, yeah.
Before you design a space, you don't do like I do and just go to the store and see if you like it.
No, ma'am. We spend time and effort and put some thought into this, because ultimately when I leave out is your space. And it needs to be yours, because I can make it pretty. Child, I can make it pretty. But is it yours? Do you feel like this is your space, or is it just a picture out of a magazine? And I don't want it to be a picture out of a magazine. I want it to be uniquely yours, so that you can feel however it is you want to feel when you're in there, because I'm going home and you got to stay there.
That's
so let's
true.
make sure that when you're in whatever room, it feels the way you want to feel. And also what that does for you, not only for you, but for the people that come in, that you entertain or that live in that space. When you are in a space or a place where you feel vibrant, relaxed, calm, energized, energetic, then that comes out. That comes out to the people that are around you, and it makes your house more of a home. It makes your space, your home, more inviting, more attractive. And because you are in that space.
You did a presentation and you selected a group of people. And can you talk a little bit about what you were trying to accomplish? Because I thought I didn't expect you to present from that angle. And I found it really helpful, but it made me think. But I want our audience to hear a little bit about that.
Okay. So my goal is to help people design the next chapter, the next beautiful chapter of their life. And I want people to think, am I living my happily ever after? Am I designing my next beautiful chapter? So with that question, are you living happily ever after? We went through a series of questions of what does happily ever after mean to you? Is it a memory from childhood? Is it where you are right now, the person that you have evolved into? What really is your happily ever after? And are you living that? Are you doing that? We only get to do this life one time. And why not make it as beautiful, as joyous as we possibly can? Because we have enough stuff coming at us. But while I'm in my spot, my house, my box, is it my happily ever after? So that presentation was to get us to start thinking, what does it take for me to write this chapter so I can look back and say, I did that. I am at my happiest. I am who I want to be. I'm in the space that I want, and it reflects me. And that was a good time.
That was really impactful. I was in such a unique way to prepare to talk about designing a space. Again, all this background information before you purchase anything.
For me, it starts with a feeling and how you want to be, because we can walk into any store, any box store, and it's already a showroom, it's already decorated, and you can buy the room. But is it you? Is it functional for you? Does it tell your story? It may tell a story, but does it tell your story?
And the space should tell my story.
Absolutely it does. That space should tell your story, not a story, but yours. And I believe that we all should aspire to have our spaces tell our story. And Even if you don't know how to tell your story, that's where I come in to help you navigate that. And like I said, take you through a series of questions and exercises to get your story out and live a beautiful, happy life.
I think that's so important that you talk about it from this perspective, because we don't know. We want happily ever after, or we want our space to tell our story, but most of us don't know how to do that, how to begin to do that. So I think it's good for our listeners to know there's a process and that you take us through a process so that we can get there.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, it's so funny. We're talking about all these things that I've already I've written down. I wrote down this, for example. What's more important, a perfectly styled home or one that tells a story? We talked about that.
Story that is perfectly styled.
Yes. Oh, yes. Tell a story. A story that is perfectly styled.
Yes.
Okay. So I wrote this note here because when I was living in a house and then I decided to move in town, I had to minimize. That was, okay, on the one hand, it was really difficult because you really had to let go of some stuff, a lot of stuff, because you're moving into a much smaller space. But what I discovered was when I was able to start letting things go, I remember clothes and coats and hats being in every closet in the house. It was ridiculous. Ridiculous. You can't wear them. You don't even remember where they are. You don't even remember that you have them.
Somebody came and took them. You wouldn't even know they were gone.
I wouldn't know. But my son helped me, and we just started. I decided to take them to an organization that helped women get back in the work field. So I thought that would be I wanted to put them to good use. So we're just talking about the closets now. But so I had so many garbage bags full of clothes. And when I got rid of them, I felt lighter. My son had me watch this video. I forgot the name of it, but it's about minimalism. I never heard the concept before. But there are people who live in tiny spaces. I mean, this room could be the whole home for some people. But here's what, and I looked at that, I said, is he crazy? I don't want to, that's not me. But there was one thing that I took away from there. The woman had a very small closet, and she said, everything in this closet I like. I like everything in this closet, and I wear it. And that stuck with me. So now when I'm cleaning out my closet, I'm saying, I don't like this. I don't care how much money I paid for it. I don't care that it was on sale. I really don't like it because I haven't been wearing it. I must not like it. And I want a space, including my closet, that I like. I like everything in it. Even in a room, I like everything in it. And then I want the other stuff to go. Do you see what I mean?
I do.
Yeah.
I do. And that is the beauty of being able to sit with your thoughts and your feelings and just discover what is it that is going to get me to be happy.
Yeah.
Is it all of these things? Is it, everywhere I look is something. It's clutter. Then that's what it eventually boils down to, is clutter. And you're holding on to it for what?
Yeah.
Why?
Right.
When it's creating or taking up space in your mind.
It does.
So not only is it taking up space on your counter and on your floor, it's taking up space in your mind.
Yes.
So free your mind and the rest will follow.
It is amazing how clutter can clutter you up here. That's amazing. Why do you think people like me, before I travel, this might be a tiny bit off the subject, but before I travel, I have to put everything in its place. Now, I can live with it out of place while I'm just at home doing what I do. But when I get ready to leave, when I come home, I need everything. Why is that?
That's it. Because you don't want to come back to mess, clutter. No, you want to walk in and you're free.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, having stuff everywhere, when you see it, it does something mentally and physically to us.
Yes.
So I'm the same way. The dishes have to be washed and put away. Clothes have to be washed and put away. I have to clean up before I go into it because I don't want to walk back into that.
Yeah, don't want to see that.
It's I don't want to walk back into that because it makes me anxious. Creates a different feeling. I could have been at the beach, had a good old time, and walk back into and see dishes on the counter in the sink. I'm instantly in a bad mood.
Right.
So I get it.
Right.
I have to clean up too because, like I said, it does something mentally to us. So having a clear, clean space keeps us mentally clean and clear.
Now, for you, are your counters clean, clear, or do you like, little knickknacks in different places? Because I've seen both sides of that. Some people, I know a gentleman that has a huge, beautiful home. I'd call it a mansion, and it's very clean, but there's a lot of objects everywhere. And then I have a relative who has a beautiful home and she likes her spaces or counters pretty clear. Yeah.
So for the first example, having all of the stuff, for him, those things mean something to him. It brings him joy. Yes. It makes him happy to see whatever the object is. It makes him happy to see that. Whereas your relative, that's too much. Get the stuff. It just messes with me mentally.
Yeah.
So it depends on, like, let me go back. How do you want to feel? Now, there's a difference between having things that make you feel good and hoarding and holding on to stuff because of can't let this go because I'm attached to it where I can't function without it. That's different from traveling the world and collecting art from this place and from that place. That's a different type of collection.
Yeah.
Whereas hoarding is more a mental disease or disorder that people have. So there's a difference between the two.
Yeah. Yeah. And I've seen the difference, so I know what you're talking about. Yeah. And the gentleman that I'm talking about, he is well traveled and he's done a lot of things in his lifetime, and you can tell that all those things have special meaning, and he displays them very attractively.
Yeah.
It's not, yeah.
And that's part of the difference between hoarding and having a lot of things because of the way you display it. If you back to your analogy about the closet and the clothes, when was the last time you wore those clothes? If you haven't worn them, some people say within the year, get rid of it. I hold on to it a little bit longer than a year.
Yeah.
If it's like I said, if it's in your closet and if somebody came in the middle of the night and took the shirt away and you did not even know it was gone, you probably should get rid of it. But if you have items like he's, well traveled and has collected stuff and he displays it in an honorable, respectful, meaningful way, and he gets joy out of telling people the story behind it.
And he does.
Have at it.
Yeah. So let's see where we want to go. What is your favorite design project and why?
Wow. Favorite design project would be a bathroom that I did. Gerald received a bowl. It's a chocolate colored round vessel sink. I don't know if it was a gift or if he was supposed to dispose of it, but it ended up at my house. And I looked at him like, what are we supposed to be doing with this sink? It was a chocolate covered sink, but it was beautiful. And it didn't fit anywhere in our old house. So it was so pretty that we just kept it. It was in a garage and the person that gave it to us, gave it to him, told him to get rid of whatever. He ended up with it. I can't name the person, but it meant a lot. It was sentimental. And as when we decided that we were going to move to where we are right now, the sink came with us. Still did not know what I was going to do with this sink, but it was just pretty to me, so I kept it. Then, lo and behold, I found a way to incorporate this sink. I designed a whole bathroom based around this sink. And I love that bathroom because it is so moody. It made me, and I love color, but the walls are a chocolate brown and the finish is high gloss finish, and the sink is it's a Calcutta kind of cream. It has brown vein in it. It is so pretty to me, and it was because of that sink that I was like, boy, what you doing with this sink? What are we gonna do with this?
Oh my goodness!
And just finding a way to incorporate it got me outside of my comfort zone. So I just love that space because of that. Yeah.
Now, is this a guest bathroom that you used it?
It's a bathroom downstairs in our basement. So we entertain a lot in the basement, several rooms down there. So it's the bathroom downstairs in the basement.
Oh,
so it's a powder room.
Yeah.
And it's just beautiful. Like I said, the sink sits on top of this beautiful Calcutta marble countertop. And the walls are satin, chocolatey brown. It's so moody, and I love that space. That's one of my favorite projects.
I need to see that when I come over.
Come on.
Okay. Oh, other than the sink, is there another piece in your home that has deep personal meaning?
Yes. I have a rose with my mother's name on it, and that was given to me when my mom passed away. One of our friends sent me that in the mail, and I opened it, and I just seeing her name on something that means a lot to me. So it has a place in my closet on a shelf, so I get to see it every time I get dressed.
Yeah. That's beautiful. What was your mom's name?
Mary.
Or is your mom's name?
Mary.
I don't like to talk in the past because she still is your mom. Yeah. Mary?
Yeah.
I didn't know that. My mom's name's Mary.
Really?
Did we ever? We never said that, did we? Oh my goodness.
Yep. That's my mama.
Okay.
Good old
You
nosy
talked
Mary.
about that. Okay. Now we're going to do a quick fire round before we end our conversation today. Okay. Bold colors for you. Bold colors or soft neutrals?
Bold colors.
I know that because I've been to your home. Minimalist or maximalist?
Minimalist. I don't like a lot of stuff, but I like stuff.
Okay.
If it has to have a meaning to me, it has to have a purpose. I don't just like little tchotchke stuff just to have little stuff around. So I guess I might be in a minimalist.
Well, go with your first gut.
Minimalist.
Yeah, I like that. Candles or plants?
See, then that's hard. That's a hard one.
That is a hard one.
Because I like a good old smelling good candle. But I like flowers and plants too. Oh, that's hard. First word that comes to mind is candles.
Okay. And both is okay. Studio or sanctuary?
Sanctuary.
Inner peace or outer polish?
Inner peace. Inner peace all day.
Is there anything else you want to tell our audience before we end our conversation today?
I would like to tell people to, tap into their feelings so that they can live happily ever after. And just, whatever that means for them, if it's in designing their space or refreshing their space, maybe they're downsizing or they're going to live with a family member now. Whatever the transition in life that they're experiencing, let it be their happily ever after. Yeah. Let's lean into that, what that means to you, and create your story, story that you can tell that is your happily ever after. So how can our audience contact you? Because I think people are going to want to talk to you. Oh, come on. Let's create a beautiful chapter. People can reach out to me on Instagram right now, beyond.elegance design, or a good old phone call. Okay. Yep. 678-429-6095. 678-429-6095. Wow. Well, I hope you get a lot of phone calls because I've been in your spaces and I've been to events where you prepared it for us to enjoy. And I always ask, who did that? When we walk into the space, we feel special. We feel special. And I just want you to know that all that you go through, whatever limited budget you may be working with or resources, when we walk into that space, we feel special. And that's what I want. And that's what I want. Time. That's what I want is for people to feel special. Thank you. Yeah. Yeah. So anyway, that ends our time together. And thank you all so much for listening. And again, this is my friend, a professional interior designer, Sonia Foster. Please get in touch with her on Instagram or her phone number, which is on this recording. And thank you for tuning in, and we will see you soon. Bye. Thank you.